Testing, testing. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, all across the world, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope you're all doing well, guys. Welcome to yet another edition of the London session, and it is that time. Time to get this show on the road. As always, guys, good morning, good afternoon, and a very, very, very good evening, no matter where we are around the world. As mentioned, welcome to another edition of the London session. Once again, looking forward to seeing what we can come up with moving forward here today on the gold. We'll also look at German 40 and any other pairs as per request. But let's have a good one, team. Looks like gold is still messing about a bit at the minute. Big day ahead, obviously. We will quickly just have a look at the news. We do have the big one today, NFP, to come, and that is 30 minutes into... No, it's not. That's retail sales. Well, nonetheless, it is 30 minutes into the NY session moving forward today. So for anyone who is trading into the NY session, you need to be extremely, extremely cautious of that huge news event to drop at midnight my time, and obviously 30 minutes into the NY session. So obviously, guys, keep your finger on the pulse of the news. Follow on Forex Factory or Financial Juice, but don't get wrecked. Whatever you do, don't get wrecked. Think of me over your little shoulder when you're about to do something stupid, and don't you dare do it. Just don't do it, guys. It's not worth it. Anyway, enough of that, and let's have a look at the goal, guys. In the meantime, guys, you know the drill. If you could, please smash that like button, and any charts, any questions, anything you'd like me to have a look at, I will do so shortly. Meantime, let's get cracking and let's have a look at the gold. And starting the weekly time frame, just stuck in the range here on, well, the 4 hour and the 4 hour actually. However, what we can see is that daily, it's just seems like it's been weekly, sorry, seems like it's been stuck there since the beginning of the week when it shot straight up. Still not create that lower wick. Could we do so? Still could, potentially. Definitely have enough time to do so. We continue to reject what we'll see shortly is the 4 hour resistance, and there is a chance that we could still eventually come back down to create that lower wick on the weekly candle. However, we've approached the high of the previous weekly, not yet broken it. If we were to break it, and I do believe there'll be further potential for price to push bullish onto the daily time frame here. And saw yesterday we had that interruption candle from a few days back, but yesterday's candle tapped into it. We ended up closing back bearish, but respected that resistance to the left, respecting that 5k level after dropping below it for a brief moment there yesterday. Current daily, no low wick. If we begin to pop above that previous daily candle's high and that previous weekly candle's high, then there's a high probability that we would continue bullish, and we may not necessarily pull back to create the low wick on the daily candle. We'll mark it in nonetheless though, and we'll make our way down now to the 4 hour time frame. And what we can see, so we're now just calling up towards the apex of the 4 hour resistance here. We are really no momentum whatsoever. What I do like about it though, for potential upside, is the fact that we are accumulating, consolidating just below the resistance. So we've not yet broken that high from last Wednesday. If we've begun to do so, there's some pretty clean traffic to the left on the high time frame picture. Maybe this buildup of accumulation just below the resistance may in fact be enough to make the next big wave impulse up, and then eventually back up towards what is the all-time high. Otherwise, what we're going to do is just mark in, well, what we can see first of all is structurally, guys, the way I see it, still technically bearish from this big drop from the all-time high. None of that's going to change. Yes, granted, we create a higher low here. Equal high though, we're not flipping any micro structure within the structure itself. We're just going to mark in some levels now though, guys. I'll mark in just the most recent for the time being. I know we're not going to buy it above this level because you're running straight into that the high from Wednesday on the 4 hour resistance there. As far as support, we're going to mark in that is the most recent. Again, I know we've got a level just below it, but I'm just focusing on the most recent for the time being. All right, on to the 15-minute time frame. And what I can see is that technically speaking remains bullish. Yep, from all the way back here from yesterday, well, yesterday just after midnight my time. So that is Monday for most of you. This impulse, this is the not closed above to create a higher high. It obviously created a higher high within this impulse leg up. So therefore the structure will flip back bearish below on the 15 on a close below that, pretty much that 5k region at 49.95, 5k sort of level. So we're respecting support, rejecting resistance at the moment. Structurally speaking on the 15, I do see it as bullish. So we've got a bit of a mixed bag here today on the gold, and to be honest, it looks pretty much the same as yesterday. It looks quite ordinary for the time being. Just quickly go back to the 4 hour. All right, I'll just adjust that to there. All right, so we're smack bang still in this range where nothing has changed. Might just adjust this though. I'm gonna adjust that to that point there, and I'm gonna draw in a resistance at the current daily high at that point there, the Asian range high. What we could potentially look for, guys, so first of all, for the buy options, look, seeing we have recently created the high of the day, we have pulled back again within the range itself, literally tapped into the most recent support only to bounce straight off it. If price was to start to push back above and perhaps close above that 50.625, giving us enough margin to target the highs of the resistance to the 4 hour level at 50.70, then we could potentially off the back of that look for some buy options. But the reality is, guys, any close above, there is a good chance it's just going to push straight through. You're interested in impulse entries, you might be considering a buy above that point. For me, you guys know how I roll. I'm not interested. I have a solid plan as to when I can take them, and it's just not going to present at the minute on gold. Otherwise, what we can do is mark in the most recent support here around that 5,046 to 44 sort of level, and patiently await price to pull back yet again if it does to that level, and look for a potential buy upon the right confirmation to do so. So we need to look for our price action catalyst from this support and look for some potential buy options. So otherwise, obviously I'll be looking for pullback buys, but we'll just focus on the most recent levels for the time being, guys. And for the sells, this is what I'll be looking at. Just remove that daily open. For the sells at this rate, I don't see likely that we're going to have the opportunity to sell within the current range unless we pop straight up very shortly and reject. But otherwise, probably preference at tapping into the high point of the 4 hour resistance. Obviously triggering some sellers, maybe form some minor support back below that resistance, and as price begins to push away from that support, could potentially look for our price action catalyst for a sell option from higher up. And that is basically it on the gold for the time being. Once again, guys, it's just a bit of a choppy mess at the minute. It's a slow trickle up, needs enormous patience at the minute. It's fact, guys. It's reality. I'm not going to force anything for the sake of it. Just going to once again stick to the plan. That is gold. Make that what you will. What you need to do is don't forget to smash that like button for me, team. And let's quickly have a look at German 40. Here's a chart I sent in earlier to the members group. So it's above the minor resistance. This is similar to gold though, guys. You really don't have enough or much margin whatsoever to target the higher depths of that 4 hour resistance. Big gap up at the open of the previous candle, or a couple candles back. Not sure what went on at that point. Do see it potentially popping up to the resistance at 25.055. The fact that we've tapped back into the level we have closed above the bodies of the candles here to the left, tapped back into it multiple times, and we are now pushing away from it. So I do feel that there's a high probability just now that it's going to come up further. So if that is to be the case, what I would personally be doing is looking for some rejection of the resistance back around that 25.055 and upwards for potential price action catalyst to sell it. Now, the only other thing I would consider at this point is if in fact we do eventually, so you're trying to create support above, so we need a bearish candle followed by another bullish candle. If we begin to pop back below that minor support, then it's a good chance we're going to head back down, fill this gap that was created just recently. Not sure if you'll have it on your broker's chart, but it's nonetheless, it is here, and potentially head all the way back down towards that 24.950. For me, that would be the ideal sort of level to begin to look for buy options. However, we do have some support in between where price could just bounce off and not really give you much of an opportunity. Not easy, definitely not easy. German 40. Personally, still not trading it, not comfortable to trade it. I've not watched it enough, but that's what I'd be looking at. Just a quick rundown, and we will focus on the gold, guys. Let's get rid of that for the time being. Let's have a good one. Five-minute choppy as well. Not a bad catalyst to suggest the price could continue to the downside though. The rejection of pretty much the wick of that bearish candle, but we're right in the middle of this range, 15-minute range. So still just don't see a solid entry in a minute, guys. In the meantime, Franco, good day to you. Enviro Mad, good day to you. Ahmed, good day, mate. Bartman, give a like, appreciate it. Some Boss Golden Lens, good morning to you. Yeah, here again today, nice one, mate. And Mr. James Webb. Yep, morning, evening. Welcome, mate. It's tough conditions again today, guys. It's really been a difficult week because price action, as I mentioned yesterday, what we can see amongst all of this, it's so much bullish, bearish, sideways action, which, to be honest, unless you're trading the micro time frames, and look, there's nothing wrong with that if you have a solid edge on the market to do so, but for me, it means I need just to be patient throughout. You guys know I will look at the 5-minute, but not necessarily as the catalyst, but I can use it to try to get involved. But even then, I've not really found any real solid entry to base it on the 5-minute as well. And obviously we see the 15's extremely choppy. So just gonna stick to doing what I do best, and that's just being patient and waiting for what I believe is a quality opportunity to present. My members, let me invite you. Had a good call last night. Members group doing some back testing, realized that the times the whole time wrong for what I was trying to back test. The actual range itself was the wrong time, so it was kind of irrelevant at the end, but nonetheless it was fun. So my bad. All right, team, link has been sent. Guys, if you could please don't forget to do so. Just hit the like button, that's all I ask. Just really helps out the stream, helps people to, you know, to be fed the stream through the algorithm and they search for trading, live trading sessions. Quite frankly, we need all the help we can get on this stream because obviously we don't rate very high. So even though we kill it, look at gold. It's done this so often today from when the times I've looked at the charts. Pretty much done this the whole time. Looks like it's about to shit the bed, pop straight back up. Looks like it's about to go to the moon, pop straight back down. So what gold does at the minute is give the impatient trader a headache, a big headache. Lightning FX 1991, good morning fellow trader, may you have an awesome trading session alongside your viewers. Thank you my friend, and may you also have an awesome trading session. May it be a profitable one if there are quality trades to be had. Carl, good day to you. Did I say good day to you before? I think I may have, I can't remember. Anyway, looking at possible buys on UJ. Yeah, I actually sent a swing longer term position into the group on UJ as well. That extremely solid level of support, but not only that, it lines up with so it's tapped into the second limit order entry. I don't trade it. so I'm not personally in it. But the first entry would have been set, or was set, for the daily interruption candle back at the lows of the support. So it's extremely strong level of support, lines up with further support here to the left, which was previous resistance, also reclaimed support. Let's go to the 4 hour. It's extremely strong level on the 4 hour as well. So yeah, for me, it's a good level to start looking for longer term buys on UJ if you are interested in trading it. Bank holiday today in Japan, so I mean the yen seems to have gained some strength throughout the day. UJ has been dropping, EJ as well. I also had a look at EJ, considering also adding, or not adding, but calling a potential option for EJ members group. But then, to be honest, I'd rather not have 2 yen pairs in there, so I went with gold. Lightning effects, learning more than profits, that's the main thing. It's the main thing. We always learn. I still learn. That's how I come up with some different entries. So we're always learning when we're on the charts. We're always seeing some different things, and I think the more time you spend on the charts, the more you're likely to pick up on something and a potential trade idea off the back of it. So it's important to have that time on the charts. Wow, this thing has no idea what it wants to do. It's a lot of volatility though. These candles are still quite big. Carl, you think you'll just wait for gold to get out of the 4 hour range? That's a really good idea, to be honest, mate. When I used to trade GJ and I saw it doing what gold is doing on the 4 hour, I would literally just say, right, we're not trading GJ today. There's no way I'm trading it. For instance, if I came to the charts and this was London session, well, prior to it, and NY into Asian into London, I would literally just say, nah, until it moves away from this area, there is no trades. So I used to do that with GJ. Yeah, this thing is just nasty at the minute. Lightning effects. UJ is playing nasty because of the day before Japanese election where the PM won by landslide victory. Oh, okay, yep. That would be a positive for the yen. Definitely. Tends to be the case when incumbent wins any sort of election. Tends to be a good thing for a currency. Aussie dollar has been absolutely on a tear. Anyway, back to the gold. Looked like it was about to shoot for the stars and I mean crashing down again. So guys, let me know, how has your week been? Have you found it challenging? Have you found quality entries? Are you doing well? Are you struggling? For me, it's nothing. It's not struggling. It's not the fact that I've not found anything. It's just nothing's presented. It's literally that. I've had no quality confirmation. So again, I don't go hunting. As you guys know, I wait for my plan to present in front of my eyes when I'm on the charts. And that's what every good trader should do. What they're trading, the 1 minute charts, the 5 minute charts, the 15, the 1 hour, the 30, the 1 hour, the 2 hour, the 4 hour, the daily, whatever it is. Franco and I were having a little discussion at the very beginning of yesterday's members only call, and he was saying it's not taking a trade for a bit because of the way it's been. But what I believe that does is build a lot of character. If you can identify that the charts are not showing you anything that you're familiar with or anything that you can, you know, confidently place a wager on, it's your responsibility to sit out and wait till it does. And that really builds character, a lot of character. make you a much better trader moving forward. So I see absolutely nothing wrong with that. No need to take second best. And to be honest, I don't even think second best is as presents much at all this week so far. James, 2 break-evens, Gold Monday and GAUUSD. Oh, okay. Kyle, good week. UJ sells closed this morning. Got in sells about 155.50. Wow. Nice one, mate. Yeah, you got him right at the highest. Nice one. Franco, no, it's all good, mate. I mean, like we discussed yesterday on the call prior to anyone else joining, it's a good thing. Don't stress it. Important thing is to, obviously, as you know, not do anything stupid, which you're not going to. So it will change. What is that? Rain. That's a rarity. Only the Aussies will know what I'm about to say. It's a Cornad Marge Arranger here. I can't remember what it was for though. Company. Could have been Birdseye, I have no idea. But honestly, it's barely rained for months in Melbourne. Alright, enough of that. Sorry to digress, guys. Now, TikTok. I shall let them in. We are officially live on the TikTok as well. Michael Hughes, g'day to you, mate. Hope you're well. Yeah, the rain, it's great, isn't it? I've got the backyard door open from my office to the backyard, and it's really nice. I love that smell you get. So fresh out there. Beautiful. It hasn't happened often of late, has it? Rained for like 5 minutes Sunday, but other than that, I don't think it's rained for ages. Good. I think you mean to be alive. It's positive. Get out of bed each day. It's a good start. There's always someone who didn't make it, so that's life. It's reality. Tickety Talk. G'day, guys. Welcome. Smash that screen for us. Hope you guys are doing well. Don't be shy to ask questions. Looking at gold here, waiting for a close above. Look, we might get it. Well, looks like we're going to get it. Big one huge issue is stop loss. It's a massive one. So look, if it leads an upper wick and we retest the high of this resistance, it's, look, if you trust it, that would have to be a stop loss, the new candle, and you'd look to enter as breaks the high. That is half D. I mean, it's not a bad entry, to be honest, but it's the only way to get a decent stop loss, and it's likely not going to be a big one, or it's going to say it can't pop up and it's popped straight up. It's tough, guys. It's really tough because gold is just making these moves. Like I mentioned before, looks like it's about to pump, all of a sudden dumps, and vice versa. What we do have is the 15-minute interruption just here. Do I like it? I don't know, because again, you're back into consolidation. That's the issue with that one. what we've also done, and why I don't like that, is because we've literally just broken the Asian range high. So if we were to continue bullish, I don't feel as much of a need after breaking it to pop all the way back to that point there and bounce. If it actually does now pull back within the range, I believe there's a chance of coming back down towards the other end of it. So what I would preference is it closing above and seeing how price reacts upon a retest of that level. It's really, to me, it's on a nice edge at the minute. It could easily just tap into the resistance and begin to shit the bed again. Just need to be so strict with it at the minute. Have a solid plan and follow it throughout. So it popped up, it's popped back down to create a lower wick. It has not retested this zone. Let's go down to the 5-minute as well. Yeah, that's so risky. I was going to say maybe just buy limit the resistance. But again, it's so risky because this Asian range, that's my concern, that we're likely going to pull back deeper. So I'm not going to do it, guys. I'm waiting. Patience is of virtue at the minute. Jim Donnelly, get it to you. Silver on the move. Oh, wow. Shit, it is too. Yeah, silver gave a decent interruption entry, but it was already tapped into a resistance. But now you've got a really nice interruption entry on silver, but it's got to pull the way back to 82.41 to 1.5. So it's a fair distance off. Let's look at the hourly. Perhaps there could be one. No. 2 hour. You got to wait an hour for that, but that could present. Yeah, silver making the moves at the minute. Gold retracing. So yeah, I think it's a good decision. It's tapped into that interruption. So my guys probably would have taken it, possibly. Just don't like the fact that it's the Asian range and it's shooting the bed back into it. So yeah, I'm an extremely strict rule-based trader. TikTok, let me have a look through the chat, see if I've missed anything. Welcome to all of you. Don't forget to follow, smash that screen for me. Oh, likes yet? Come on, guys, you can do better than that. Us, do you see Nasdaq, William? No, I've not looked at Nasdaq. I can do so surely. Leah Titia. At the moment, looking at XAUUSD, so gold, time frame is predominantly the 15. Let me see what's going on in the Discord. Let's hear it ping. 2 hour IC on gold is there, mate. You're all over the IC entries, aren't you? Oh shit, there was 2. That one looks better. Well, it is respecting it, so interesting. Let's see. Nasdaq. Let's quickly take a look at it. Let's do the top down, and what I can see is the weekly extremely choppy on the high time frame picture here. Weekly is forming bullish a couple days in. Still plenty of time though. Anything could happen. It's just an inside bar candle. We'll go down to the daily for more information. The previous daily, in fact, did reject and close back bearish. And what I've been now doing is marking both the daily current day's low and also that previous daily candle's low. See what we've got below those levels, because it's very clean in regards to traffic on the higher time frame. So that could potentially lead to a deeper sell-off. Onto the 4 hour. And so 4 hour is still technically bearish the way I see it. It's rejected a last significant lower high here to the left hand side. This is the most recent resistance. For support, I will include that bearish wick from that previous day. and we'll just slightly, ever so slightly adjust it to the low of that bullish candle. All right, so on to the 15 here, and what I can see is we have not yet broken the Asian range low. It looks like we could potentially do so. So I'd really like to see price pop back down a little bit lower down to that 4-hour support, and look for some sort of price action confirmation, a catalyst for an entry from the support. So really anywhere above that 25, 160, 70 sort of region. And aside from that, I'd be looking at this level for potential rejection, just to trade the range within the range, if that makes sense. So the minor time frame range, that being the 15, within the 4-hour range for potential sells, and otherwise buys above it. So similar to what I mentioned on gold, but in the opposite direction. No, same direction, sorry. If it broke the high of the Asian range, pop back to retest it, begins to pull away from it, and we're likely filling that range back up to 25.32 and upwards. So that to me would be a buy opportunity. Is Nasdaq not looking fantastic as well. Gold still respecting that 15-minute interruption. Yeah, if anyone took it, would work, be it break even, because this thing could shit the bed against the Asian range high that we are rejecting at the minute. Thanks, good morning to you, mate. Hope you're well. Dean, do you take swing? No, I did not, mate. UJ, no. And gold has not gotten near the level either way. Min Sunky, buy or sell the minute. I'm not in a trade, just waiting. Because if we close back below the Asian range, then I do believe we're likely heading back down to at least this support here. So if anyone took that interruption, definitely consider being at break even, because it's not, in my opinion, it's not really clear the consolidation. There's nothing convincing yet to suggest we're ready to rocket ship up, and we could easily start closing back into the middle of this range, this consolidation. But yeah, either way, I see it playing out. Wow. Yeah, wow. Gonna take it. All good. All good. All right, so now I'd probably wait and see if it does pop up a bit higher, how it reacts to 5,070, the resistance. Thanks, all good. Just a crazy slow week. Yeah, it has been really slow as well on my end. Last week was phenomenal. Last week was unbelievable. And this week's just been nothing. Just nothing of real quality is presented. Mainly Danny. Good day to you, mate. Welcome. Good evening from rainy Melbourne, Australia. Jeffrey Aloni, you're in from 5,050. All right, nice one, mate. Yeah, so you're in pretty decent profits. Just I personally would be managing the trade. I wouldn't be taking a loss from here if I was in at that level. So yeah, just hopefully it can. Hopefully now we can continue to make the move up for you. Break even now, so it could drop. Yeah, it could do anything. It could still pump, but it's good to be at break even. I believe there's more probability of it continuing bullish if this can actually close above the Asian range high. Ahmed, we're gonna be in the range like before, volumes out. Possibly, who knows? Just need to wait and see, but we are obviously now pushing bullish at the minute. 5 minute also looks a little indecisive, but what I do like about it is we are remaining above a resistance here to the left, pushing back above the Asian range high after breaking it. So to me, again, high probability that will continue bullish, but the issue is we're at resistance. All good. Jesus Christ. Wow, look at that. I'm assuming silver's also... So silver took the lead in this regard. In this case, silver pumped first. Now it's gold following. Spreads like in silver today. I think they're... Yeah, still quite wild. Wow, silver's really looking like it wants to break out here. It's clean by the looks of it too. Yeah, $90 could be back on the cards for silver potentially today as well. Mentioned throughout the week that often what you see is they're taking in turns. Will be one particular session or day where gold will take the lead and silver will trickle a little bit slower behind it, but generally in the same direction. Then there'll be the other days where silver takes the lead and gold will be struggling and be stuck in a range. So gold signals you can bugger off. Again, for the life of me, such bottom feeding scumbags, these people who come on to another stream trying to promote their service. Look at that rejection. Wow, this is just... It's tough. It's really tough. Jeffrey, sorry mate. Got my TP at 51. Yeah, just look, you do you. You know, don't listen to... I mean, it's up to you if you listen to my advice or not, but just be careful because this resistance is a pretty strong one. It lines up with that to the left and that's all below that 5100 flat, so doesn't mean it can't make the move, but yeah, at least they're at break even, so that's the main thing. Max trading view, yeah, time frame M15 for the most part, but it's Jeffrey, but I think taking my profit at the former high, yeah, I reckon that would have been a pretty good idea, to be honest. Look at rejecting just now. So silver is still trying to push bullish. Let's look at German 40 just quickly, guys. Wow, look at that. So what I find is often the levels on this thing are quite accurate, but it doesn't mean it's so easy to get involved in a trade. So a few of my members are looking into ways to get involved in this based off the volatility. It always tends to be around this time of day. Frankfurt Open and London Open, and can be real nuts. This pair has a lot of volume. All right, so gold, I mean, bearish engulfing, that looks good now for potential downside. Again, the issue is not a great deal of margin because you're targeting that 53. stop loss would have to be above this candle's high. Let's look at the, this is the 5 minute. Looking at the 5 minute. There's even less margin on the M15. You don't even have a 1-to-1 anymore. Yeah, and it's just nothing that really makes me want to risk any hard-earned cash at the minute. But that could change. Jeffrey, moving crazy it is. It's all over the shop in a minute. James, sorry if you've already answered this. I lost connection. Is new entry valid if... No, I'm not trusting it just yet. Need to test it more, mate. Fortunately, yesterday, after all that work, we figured out the times would have been slightly off. And we're doing the testing last night, my time, the group. Tommy, Jordan, good morning to you, brother. I hope you're well. Michael Hughes, how right are you, man? That goes compliment. I'm not sure what in regards to what, but thank you anyway. Mainly Danny, Naz trying to close under and gold just sweep its lows right now. Naz, let's... Yeah, so Naz is at a pretty good level to start paying attention to for some potential options for a buy back up. Naz is similar to gold, but it's pushing bearish at the minute, but it's also in a big mess. When you're looking at the high time frame picture, it's really messy. What I do like about it is the fact we are still hovering above a resistance here to the left, and we are obviously above the support, so it starts to form a bit of structure from the downside here on the minor time frame, and I believe that will be a pretty good opportunity to get in a longer term potential buy with your stop, possibly below the swing low. So what concerns me about that is that everyone would have their stop there, so it'd be so easy for the market just to take out that liquidity and pop back up. Anyway, I don't trade it. Look at gold. Jesus. Trades are not in abundance this week. You do. Mainly Danny broke under already. I'm looking for buys at around 150, lower part of the buy zone. On Naz. Yep, that's fine. Within a zone, that's I reckon it's a pretty good option as well. M15 or M5. Then you're going. Change your character and break a structure, yeah. It loves sweep liquidity, so we gotta be careful for that. Yeah, exactly. Where it actually pops down a bit further. So yeah, so I wouldn't just buy limit order it in this case, because it's such a high volume pair. But the thing is, if it sweeps it, then you're just simply waiting for something like this to present, and then you've got a better option. You're getting in roughly where you want to get in, around that 25, 150. And your stop loss at that point, you'd be confident that it's grabbed that liquidity from the downside, and it should likely, it's more than likely going to be safe at that point, enough for you to at least pop back above into range above and start pushing bullish to get to a point where you can begin looking to manage the trade. God. Literally just flip the chart over to something else, and gold 1 second's pumping and the next second's back at its low again. It's just so tricky at the minute. Lee Fritz 24, what's my levels? 4 hour and M15, but we're sort of disrespecting the M15. So to be honest, you can replay it to the start of the stream and you work out how I determine my levels. But this level is now pretty much irrelevant. I can just remove it. And what I can say is we're pretty much in the middle of between the 30-minute support, 15-minute support, and the 4-hour resistance. Do have support higher up though, so it could bounce off really anywhere. I would want it to pop back down a little lower though. Therefore, if that was to be the case, we'd have more margin if it did actually give us a price action signal from the support to take it back up. If it forms support just now, there is no entry for me, because you're buying into this wick. Not only into this wick, you're buying it to the highs of the 4-hour resistance itself. And if it forms support just a tad below it at the next level, it could be a similar story. Probably won't have the margin, to be honest. It's just tricky at the minute, gold. Jeffrey's seeing a TP to 77. All right. Yeah, it's a bit better. Guys, if you could, YouTube, don't forget to hit that like button for us as well. Alright, so it's tapped into a level of liquidity. It's literally tapped into the Asian range low here as XAUUSD. So look, trading off the 5-minute, what you want to see is price triggering some sellers, close back a bearish candle, and depending on the strength of that bearish candle, you're either going to be looking for a continuation buy on impulse as it breaks the high of the bearish candle, or you're basically just going to be waiting for this. So the bearish candle to close, if it closes stronger, and wait for another bullish candle to create that higher high, close above, very low wick on the following candle, and that could be your entry. But at the minute, it's just up, down. It's doing typically what XAUUSD does around this time of day. Ooh, Bitcoin also been selling off quite strongly today. That was a chart from yesterday. It's literally tapped back into that zone and rejected it. 15-minute interruption worked on Bitcoin as well. That presented this afternoon my time, so interesting. M30 interruption just here. It's not yet been retested. So even Bitcoin, as far as price action and the interruption candle entry, seems to play out quite nicely. To me, Bitcoin is like it's been read its last rites. It looks like it is about to completely head south at the minute. Let's have a look at some of these levels. Well, 50k is going to be crucial. Really crucial. And how far could this thing drop? Who knows? Obviously, crypto is just on another level. It's prone to 80% pullbacks after a bull trend. And I think there's no denying this is in a big downtrend at the minute. Looks like it's about 50% from the all-time high, just under. Or it did actually drop to 50%. So perhaps it's still got 30% more to go, guys. So maybe it's not over yet. Interesting. Again, I'm personally interested in getting, maybe starting to dollar cost average into some reputable altcoins that actually have some use case. Of which I have no idea, to be honest. I'm still doing a little bit of investigating, looking into it. Because some of these alts are back at levels that not been at for ages. Anyway, back to Bitcoin, back to gold. Caitlin or Catalan, gold buy at this rate. Gold is just nothing. I'm waiting for maybe a buy, potential buy from the support. I don't have any orders set. Here it is, shooting a bet at the minute. In all honesty, guys, if I was not streaming, what I would do at the minute is set alerts. Whilst it's in the middle of this train wreck and has no clear direction, I would just literally set alerts. Because what that does is as well, I'm not saying to leave my stream. Don't do that, please. Find it hard to get you guys to to join the stream to begin with. But what it would do is it will stop you from getting tempted when you see this sort of volatility. Gold is definitely, there's a lot of volume. It's up, down, all over the shop. It's going to stop you from maybe thinking to yourself, shit, maybe I should have taken a buy there. All right, it's melting. I'm going to take a sell. Then it pops straight back up. So in this sort of circumstance, if I'm trading by myself, if I'm overseas or whatever, and I'm not on stream, that's the type of thing I'd do. Coming down. Thanks, gold's hot pot at the moment, not touching it. Yep, it is. It literally is, mate. Mainly, dating is just not worth getting involved sometimes. It's true. It's important to know when it's probably the best time to maybe stay away. And it doesn't mean those traders who are getting involved, as long as they're following their plan and utilizing their edge, doesn't mean that they're doing anything reckless or anything. Nothing wrong with that. But as in regards to the way I trade and the confirmations I look for, then I need to understand that at the minute, it's just not giving me anything. I need to be really patient and not force anything in between, not try to go down to the 1 minute and see, well, that looks decent. Let's perhaps take that. I mean, the only thing you could use is intuition, but when you get wrecked, you think to yourself, why not just hold tight? Follow the original plan. So that's why I steer clear of anything in between, and I suggest it's what you guys should do as well. Mainly Danny, I tanked a few losses yesterday, quite a few, so today I'm no trading and I'm watching those. Oh, okay, you're not trading. At least you realize that perhaps your emotions got the better of you yesterday in a choppy market, so that's a good thing that you've realized that and you've decided to take a back seat for today. I mean, it's not a bad day to do so with NFP. So TikTok, you guys went on stream when I went over this. So there's NFP later, midnight my time, 30 minutes into my session. So it's going to be a big day ahead. Moving forward, GDP for the pound tomorrow as well. How about you NY unemployment claims? That not listed there today as well. It's a rate. I swear we had unemployment claims not long ago. So big week, still all throughout high impact news 30 minutes into MI session, so be very cautious, team. National Auto Service, Silver is fantastic. As far as an entry though, the only half decent entry I can see is the IC, the interruption candle entry way back here at 82.41215. If price eventually pops back down to that point, it needs to start to close above the resistance, which it keeps, well, it's rejected just recently, obviously. So we need a strong close above that point there. And if it does, it's likely going to signal continuation to the upside. Above that, you got clean traffic up to $90. So yeah, definitely want to close above that $84 sort of region. Yeah, just above $84. Otherwise, I'll be looking for buys upon the pullback. As far as the interruption itself, I think it'd be best to have the stop loss a little lower down. The actual rules for it would mean stop loss is always placed below the actual interruption candle itself. So what that will look like is this. That's the interruption candle. It would have to be below there. It's not really a wide enough stop, I believe. If it comes down with force, it could likely just push straight through that and then bounce at the support lower now. So yeah, you're likely best just to see how price reacts to that level. Maybe even on the 5-minute, look for some sort of confirmation of support for me. Maybe having a stop loss just a tad lower down on it. Spreads are quite wide still on silver. I see markets anyway, and I'm assuming on most brokers across the board. That is my personal opinion of it. Gold with not be any more shit house at the minute. Max, the indicator name, so that's the Asian range by Nico. Did record a reel today, which I might even upload it later for TikTok and YouTube Shorts potentially, and I mentioned that in the reel itself. So I've got the settings for, so it's literally from the Tokyo Currency Exchange open until the Frankfurt open. So yes, I understand, technically speaking, Asian session's still open. I am wary of that, but what I often see is when price begins to break it up around after the Frankfurt open at some point, do we respect it, close above it, retest it for continuation, or do we pop above it, reject it, and come back down? So for me, that is the times that I'm more concerned about, but you can just adjust it to whatever you want, to be honest. I'm trialing a particular entry that basically it's all about from the lowest point of the Tokyo, from the open to the highest point, Frankfurt open. So just search, I'll type in the chat for you. Yeah, g'day, it's you, GU. It was from yesterday. Alright, so GU, weekly's falling strong bullish, but still inside bar candle. But we are hovering above resistance here to the left, so to me, it looks good for potential upside based off that. Daily rejecting the resistance, most recently created to the left-hand side here. Got a lower high, lower low within the current daily candle, so we're going to mark in both the low and the high and see what we've got above and below those levels. Likely going to be some pretty nice options on either side of it. Maybe not a 4-hour. 4-hour suggests you're basically at resistance, but we may be able to need in that zone up a little bit shortly. As far as support, we'll actually, for the time being, use that bearish low and adjust it also. The 4-hour structure itself is bearish. It's bullish, sorry, from yesterday, I remember. Won't flip back bearish for ages. So structure itself, I'd argue, is technically bullish, but within the actual trend, you could kind of call that a double top, and it looks like it could potentially reject again. The M15 is definitely bullish in structure. All right, so I'm starting to paint a bit of a picture here. The M15 structure is going to flip below this support, so below 136.550. Just remove the daily high and focus on that level for the time being. Sells below it look good. If price was to begin to pop below 136.550, gonna flip. Would have had a confirmation of the structure flipping bearish. Technically speaking, that comes at 136.580. But if we close below the support just a tad below it, then we're likely heading back down to the Asian range low. So I'd be looking for a close below, retest, continuation, and otherwise just trade the range. So if we respect support, come back down to 136.580 and bounce off it, could be potential options for a buy back up. So I'm just looking at levels of liquidity right now. Again, similar to gold, we're just kind of consolidating in the middle of a range. So what you'd be best to do is allow price to shift either upwards and reject, or downwards and bounce. And if it does actually push through or fall through the support and retest, so close below, retest it, and as your option, take a sell down, where later on you could possibly look for buys. Pretty straightforward. So it's nothing special with the analysis, but that's personally how I would play it if I did trade it. National Auto Service, thanks for grabbing some silver solid kgs. Nice one. Nice one, mate. It's hard to get your hands on. It's bloody hard here in Oz. It popped up briefly from the bullion dealer I deal with the other day. Some 2 different 1 ounce coins, I think, and literally within a few minutes it was completely gone. And here's little old me thinking, it's all right, I'll buy a few later. Stupid. It is very tough. Even gold at the minute is extremely difficult here in Australia to get your hands on. Thank you for the sticker, by the way, mate. Appreciate it. Mainly Danny, trying to pass 100k lucid valuation. So after yesterday's losses, I might just stop until I see some clean structure. I'd rather not risk it at all in this. No, I agree. Yeah, I think it's especially with those challenges, because especially this sort of volatility, I mean, we're just seeing how gold can just at the blink of an eye just flip the script completely. 1 minute it looks like it's about to shoot to the moon, and next second it shits the bed. So you can imagine on funded accounts it would be challenging, because you still need to obviously come up with some amount of trades a month, I think it is. No, actually, I agree. It is, to me, it's a good idea as well. Have a look at the 1 minute shits and giggles again. Does look the best of all the time frames, but it's always going to, because what looks like a lot of margin for the most part is, I mean, it's bigger at the minute, but still, it's not something I would trust, because I go back to the 15, I can't help see back the Mariners were in consolidation. You do, guys. What can we do? Nags, it even messes up your psychology. I'm sure it would. Yeah, I see the numbers are down on stream too. Which is understandable when charts are like this. It's really not easy to find a solid entry. And you guys know, the guys who are here on a regular know, I'm not just going to force a trade for the stream. Because it's important for me to do what I do and stick to my plan, my rules, and prove it, you know, not prove anything. I don't have to prove shit to anyone, to be honest. But just to show you the, I suppose, the importance and the art and discipline of having patience in trading and waiting for a proper confirmation. So you learn a lot about that, sitting on your hands, being patient, and it's boring. Trading's not meant to be, you know, exhilarating all the time. If you want that type of, you know, endorphin release, you're best to go to the casino or the pokies or something. James, looking strong out there, bro. Yeah, feeling strong, in good shape. Camera doesn't do it justice, but been working hard, mate. Been at the gym at least most of the time six days a week for the most part. Diet's still good. For me, again, it's not a diet. It's just choose to eat clean. That's it. The lifestyle choice. Saw the man flex. Oh mate, you haven't seen the man flex yet. The gym's got, obviously it's got like the perfect lighting. It's got this section for that where you can flex and do all that. So a lot of young guys do it. I do at least once or twice a week, just to see. Not necessarily to show off or anything to them, but just, I haven't got shit on me, the young guys, trust me. This old man, 44 years old, still definitely lower body fat. Still in competition shape if I really want to, I reckon, honestly. Or if not, it wouldn't take me long. It would literally be a few weeks to a month. Gotta show up those young guys though, sometimes. Probably scared off by all their hair, to be honest. They're all bloody squeaky clean. I'm a man. I have hair on my chest. Josh, you're good, mate. Yeah, look, hopefully. Get out in a minute, isn't it? But might catch you later, mate. Take care. $15 minutes or 16 minutes until session open here, guys. Let's see, maybe London Open will shift things. Wait and see what Silver up to. Yeah, so it's still miles off the interruption level. The second limit order would be in safely in profit. First one being drawn out. Waves, did the boss give signal? No, it's not a signal service. If there is a solid entry to be had, then I will definitely call it. But the way we're going at the minute, there is nothing solid at the minute. It's just chopping about gold. All right, let's look at 5 minute just quickly. These wicks, they're just tough, really off-putting. Because what they suggest is for a fair while of the candle, especially looking at this one and this one and the one above it, the buyers were present for a fair portion of the candle, so it was definitely upside liquidity. But the fact that sellers were able to win the arm wrestle and shift it back bearish would suggest to me as a high probability we would continue bearish. But then look what happens here. That's why at the moment it's tricky. Price action to me is not really doing what I would normally see it do when you have this sort of candle close at that type of confirmation. And the reason why that could have bounced though is because it tapped into a 5 minute support here. But after that, candle probabilities would suggest if this one has a high low high high, there's a good chance it could continue bullish. But yet again, picking up some sell side liquidity within these wicks, pushing price back down. So it's just a real tug of war at the minute. It's such an arm wrestle, guys. That's why it's so important knowing what all this means at the minute. And basically speaking, it means just stay put. Trust me, stay put. Try not to get involved. And again, unless you have an edge on the market that you can, you know, it's presenting, by all means. But otherwise, because you're bored and you think maybe it's going down or you think it might go up, don't just trade what you think. React to what you see. Couldn't stress it enough. Wait, so annoying. Do you give a signal live by? I told you, mate. You do not listen. I said it about 2-3 minutes ago. If there's a solid entry to be taken, I said I will call it. If not, I'm not gonna for the sake of it. You want a signal? Buy gold now. There you go. There's your signal. Am I taking it? No, because it's not a quality entry. It's not a signal service, mate. German 40. All right. All right, so potentially forming a little bit of structure at the support here. What would be good if this closed weak bearish, leaving a significant low wick again? Because similar to what I mentioned on gold, but in reverse, it would suggest that there's a fair bit of sell side pressure, but we flip back bullish. And if this can close similar, but I really want it to close weak bearish to create that minor resistance at the support for London session, then there could be opportunities for a buy above that candle's high at London open for anyone who does actually trade it. Wait, it's all good. Breed holding buys, I'm sure. The man who never loses. Oh, it's really starting to come down here. Beautiful. All right. Red London open might see push down and up, potentially. Could see anything. It remains to be seen. Yesterday was choppy, took a small loss, but made it back and more. Yeah, see, it's not about chasing dollars. If you're chasing dollars, you guys are in it for the wrong reason. That will come in time. You just got to actually do things right. Work on that. Work on that. The rest will come. You just got to give it time. All right, 10 minutes until session open. Still got time to see what happens here, guys. Titia, thank you for the sticker. Apologies about butchering your name. So look, I just opened my charts and did my watch levels, went stream and saw the same setup. Yeah, I mean the levels are there's the levels within the levels at the minute, to be honest. I love for gold to pop down. Now, it is actually at a support. So it's not like we are chopping about, but it actually is at a support. So we'll put that in. And let's see how this candle first of all closes. This candle can close extremely weak bearish, but preferencing it closing above the blue zone bearish. What we could potentially look for at session open is for the London open candle to create lower wick, so instantly pop down, and then begin to flip, break the high, and we could get a quick in and out scalp off that, and the target would literally be that point there. Literally a 50 pip target, 40 pip target. But gold being gold could flip and tap in right now. Who knows? So that is something we could potentially look at. It's still far off happening, but we'll wait and see. Not ruling out potential London Open trade on gold. Stick around, team. As I mentioned before, I would want it to, so we got levels prior to this level. I would have preferenced it popping down to this level first and look for a buy, but these are also valid levels of liquidity for me where price could bounce back off, and we're trying to do so at the minute. So again, if we remain above it and we don't make the move back up, we could off the back of that find a way in. Cheeky little buy. It would all come down to how the new candle opens at session open though. What's the odds gold's just going to pop straight back up now though? It's quite high. Yeah, we don't want this to push much higher because you don't have any margin at that point. We need at least enough to target. Yeah, look at silver. Silver's looking really good. Really good if it can pop above that $84 mark. Reason being, it's closed above the Asian range high. It's tapped into the resistance to the left. It broke it, it rejected it. It's popped back down, obviously, to the Asian range high, and he's bouncing back off it. So if price was to now actually close above, to me, silver is likely going to continue to make the move to the upside. It's extremely clean to the upside, so what you want to see is a lower wick. And as it begins to pull away from that resistance, there's your potential option. Place an alert on it. All right, gold. So you got about, once you count for a spread, about a 37 pip margin. Really likely not going to be enough, guys, but we'll see. We'll see for London Open. Could be a quick dip and flip entry. We're targeting 5,071 or higher. 71 is a pretty good level. Go back to the 5 minute here. All right. Be really, really nice if the 5 minute can close weak bearish. because that will close the M15, likely weak bearish as well. So it'd be nice if it actually leaves a decent lower wick. So once again, we'll be tapping into this zone of liquidity. If it leaves that decent lower wick, closing weak bearish, we'll look for an entry as it breaks the high at session open. But again, you want a decent lower wick to begin. This is not what we want. We don't want it to flip and start to rip. Enviro mad, 30 to 1 mad. Michigan, buy it to 75. Possibly. Buy now, or you do you buy now if that's what you want to do. All right, guys. So I'm looking at perhaps if this candle can close weak bearish. What I want to see is London open candle, breaks low wick, and as it begins to break the high of this weak 5-minute bearish candle, we'll be breaking the high. Likely going to push on to break the high of the M15. We're above a support here to the left with grab downside liquidity. So to me, it's actually a pretty solid entry. But first things first, this thing, I don't want it to close strong. It can't continue to push as well in the next 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Because then we just don't have the margin whatsoever. This is not what we want. So now you got, once you count for spread, 35 pip margin. It's closes as is. It's going to pull back. Oh, imagine rolling a 20 pip stop loss in gold at the minute. Blink of an eye. Takes you out. Pops up. Oh, Michigan. No, you do what you think is the right thing to do. Mark FZ is gold or silver. This is gold. I do look at silver as well though. Alright, so just under 2 minutes, guys. We'll see. If it closes weak bearish, again, I'm waiting for a lower wick to form at session open and then potentially buy stop in high. May, for the time being, put the stop loss back below 5,052. It's risky. It's really risky as far as stop loss because it could easily take that out, then go. Because technically speaking, I normally have to stop loss below the 15, but that's just massive. So what needs to close weak bearish? I want the following candle to once again create a decent low wick. It can break the low, begin to flip and break the high. Oh man, we're pushing bullish again now. You are got to be kidding me. Forget it, guys. There's no margin. Yeah, now you've got around 30 pip margin. It's really squeezing a bit tight in a minute, and we're likely going to close back strong bullish either way. Maybe not closing bearish. All over the shop. The margin is the issue. You're not likely going to have a 1-to-1. 3 pips above. We're not even going to have a 1-to-1. See how it opens. Pop straight bearish. Alright. Extremely risky entries. It breaks the high. Extremely risky. I'd want it to pop straight down into that support. And it's not done so. Sorry guys, I'm not forcing it. I'm not forcing it. Nothing I can do. It's silver again. And look at that, gold. Man, it's just so quick in a minute. played out, that's for sure. Played out, but again, it's not perfect, you know. Rolling with, in the first minute of London Open, a 15 pip stop, 16 pip stop. It's so freaking risky. You could instantly wipe out 2% of your account that in seconds. It's a roll of the dice. You're either gonna hit jackpot or you're gonna lose. It's simple. That's how it is at the minute. So it's not the way I like to trade. Silver, no low wick, below the resistance, nothing there. Yeah, analysis is spot on, but again, it's just not always so easy to get involved. Alchemist, I'm going to be trading each insight on my demo until we get solid trajectory. I think that's not a bad idea. NG, am I profitable? Well, I think with my win rate, and especially what I did last week, I'd hazard, if I were you, a guess that I am. I'm more than profitable, my friend. Confident, extremely disciplined. Win rate on stream is 143 with 35 losses and 18 break evens. So if that doesn't prove, then I don't know what does, but I don't need to prove shit to you, nor do I need to prove to anyone else. I prove it on the daily by showing what I do on the stream, and you can, off the back of that, you can judge. If you don't think I am, don't need to be here. No one forces you to be here. But put it this way, if I wasn't confident and comfortable with what I did, why would I showcase it? Why would I be live on a stream? To make a fool of myself? You think about it, mate. You think about it. Waves, yes. Michigan, possibly. Again, analysis spot on, but it's not always so easy. My mentor, I've had a few, but what I'll suggest to you guys, and what I will say, is I give so much more and pay so much more attention to my guys than what any of my previous mentors did to me and their group in general. And that's 100%. You can just ask the members, they'd be able to tell you as well. Not saying I didn't learn anything from him, but I've very different trading at the minute. Grid, we'll create London high first, take out the London open liquidity, then make a low and push up. Who knows, mate? Could. Who knows? But the minute, it's tricky. Silver trying to pop above. So I'm assuming some of you actually took the buy, and if you did, well done. It's tapped into the target. Solid. Thank you, mate. Like, that to me makes total sense as to why it made that move. But again, I'm not willing to go into a trade with a 15-16 pip stop loss on gold the way it is at the minute. Nor am I willing to have such a wide stop loss with such a narrow target, because there is no way a 1-to-1 there. You've got like a 0.5 to 1 if that was to be your stop loss where I'd normally place it. So trying to improvise in the meantime, it was way too narrow of a stop loss for me to trust, because again, just all these candles show why. Every time it looked like it was about to make a move, it just does the turns in the opposite direction. So could have easily have done that. Tagged you in, popped straight back down, tapped into this support again, bounced off it. Anything could have happened. turns out made the move. So if anyone took it, well done. Mainly Danny, in my opinion, it will continue lower before testing for our resistance. It looks weak still. Yeah, it definitely is struggling. 100% struggling, but the reason why is because of all these wicks here on the high time frame picture. So it's obviously pockets of liquidity as well. And eventually price is going to push, whether it be up or down remains to be seen, but again, I'm not predicting where. Personally speaking, I'm extremely bullish on the metals in general. So even if it does drop again to retest that 5k sort of region, I do believe it's going to be a lot of buyers stepping in at that point to defend that level. But for the time being, guys, that was the move. Simple price action. Mainly Dang not entering though. That's fair enough, mate. Again, it's extremely choppy still. God, back. Oh, Michigan 75 resistance might go up there, sell, then go back to 5100. Yeah, I mean, possibly. Got some more resistance above that 5075 though. Just like that. That was my fear, but in this case it made the move before doing that. Zane's Rookin looking at a pullback to 5029 area, if not there, 5008. Yeah, it's levels I got marked in. It's levels I sent into the members group, I think it was. Yeah, I've got lower 5k and 49.90 in case it dips below, because often what we see is these psychological round numbers, price will dip below it or above it, grab some liquidity from either downside or upside, and then bounce. So for me, I've got the level just a tad lower down. This is just shit house. Honestly, guys, it's shit house. Michigan, you might get your support now. Yeah, what's tapped in, but it's made the move. The candle's made the move. So I can't just buy it now. Zane's copy, mate. Let's see how she plays out. But price action moment is terrible. It is extremely choppy. German 40 doing. Guys, grab that resistance was a strong one. And look at it shit the bed. I bet those who have found an edge on German 40, and it's a really profitable one, meaning they, you know, win more than they lose. In regards to the trade's executions, I bet you they love it so much, it's bear, because look at the volume on it. It is berserk. All over the shop this pen, or this indice. Chop first, in which it is at minute. Alina, manipulation of market. Yeah, it's just sideways action. It's just a lot of accumulation at the minute, liquidity being built up in order for price to shift, make next move. Often this is what happens after such a big move, whether it be up or down. And for it to I mean, a move that happens in a day or 2 days, you often get this where you get these candles are huge. Even the small candles are still like 40, 50 plus. I mean, pips, I mean. So even more than that, what I'm talking about. You're looking about $10 minimum from top to bottom, which is still quite wide. I mean, it was much worse last week. That's often what follows after it's such a big sell-off or big push up that happens over, you know, a 24-hour period. If it's for instance, like it was before gold, where it was just trending bullish and it looked like it was never ever going to pull back. It was just a strong sustained push to the upside. But I mean, look at these candles compared to this and even that one. And then you had followed up by a strong bullish engulfing. So it just means there is crazy liquidity in the market, and always what tends to follow is the volume, and becomes a bit indecisive. But you get the candles are huge. The smallest candles are even a lot bigger than what they would have been in the past. Spreads tend to widen. On silver, they're quite wide. Gold is okay on my broker anyway. But it will settle down again. Things will become cleaner and clearer, and we'll be fine. One thing is not to, you know, go crazy and try to get involved in something that you're not familiar with. Don't feel like you're missing out, guys. There'll be plenty of opportunities. No, Michigan big sell-off waves. Is this 5 minute? 15 still at the moment. Michigan last week we had 200 pip minute candles. Absolutely crazy. It was nuts. It was nuts. But even recently, it's still quite crazy. I mean, doing a update. I think it was Monday. I was doing a members update live, and gold was literally like it'd be at the high, blink of an eye. It's back at its open. Just shifted 70 pips straight up and down. That's extremely tricky. That's when you maybe get slipped on an entry, so you get entered in maybe 20 pips or so higher up. Sometimes means you got a wider stop, and then pulls all the way back and takes a stop out, and then you get absolutely wrecked. Been really good. I've not been slipped. I mean, maybe a point or two here and there late, so I've been good. This is a shit house, guys. Sorry, it's just really choppy. Silver again, respecting. I mean, just for me, it's good. It's a good thing for if it actually does begin to close above. Oops. Yeah, for me, it's a positive. You're triggering in sellers. Now, if we were to wipe those sellers out, close above, you're going to trap those sellers. And into the clean traffic, there is a very high probability, my point, it will push bullish. Doesn't mean it's going to just make a straight move back up to $90. But I reckon we're into the next wave, into the new range. Michigan got cooked on Monday. It happens, mate. Big tick triple M's gold. This is the gold, and the gold is really screwing with some people at the minute, but not me. I'm not one of those people. I'm just chilling because there's nothing. Absolutely sweet FA. It looks shit house, guys, in all honesty. What I'd be looking for is, and just remove that now, I'd want it to come back down to that level now, 5,045. See how it reacts to that point, and potentially look for opportunities to take a buy. Otherwise, just let it shit the bed, come down lower. Got support lower down. It just needs to make a move, basically. Up through all the mess, start to trend, whether it be down or up. That is the best way to play at the minute, and that's what I would likely do. So in the meantime, I'm gonna go and take a break, go have some dinner, and I will check back with my team a little later on. I'll be on a call with them. Yeah, just chill, guys. Don't do any stupid high impact news to come today with NFP. 30 minutes into NY Open. Appreciate all the support, guys. If you'd like to know anything more about what I do, links are all on the profile page for the TikTok and down in the description below of the YouTube stream. Feel free to say g'day, send a message, I always reply. But just remember one thing, I never initiate contact. So if someone messages you claiming to be me, asking for crypto, or for me to manage an account for you, block them straight away, because it's definitely not me. Take care, guys. Have a good one. Trade safe. I'll be back tomorrow, and look, hopefully tomorrow charts will be in a better condition. Until then, guys, take care. Just team. Have a good one. Bye.